What's happening, Trojan Nation? Thank you for joining me for another episode of our Key series. This is going to touch on our core values. This is one of my favorite core values, arguably the most important one, growth mindset. So having a growth mindset means when you hear things, you're open to the idea, whether it's in wrestling, whether it's in politics, whether it's in classroom learning, any area of your life. Even if you don't agree with somebody, you should be willing to hear them out because you might learn something from that and they might be able to learn something from you. And you don't have to change your perspective, but just learn. And the more you understand how people think, the easier and the better your life is going to be. So what does a growth mindset look like? Your eyes are open, your ears are open, your mouth is shut. That's the same thing I teach once we're about to do some technique or I'm going to talk at practice. You know, I like to keep the workers working, so I don't want to talk too much. But every time you come to that practice room, have an open mind, be willing to learn from anybody. I learn moves from kids. Kids learn moves from me. I learn from coaches, and other coaches learn from me. Today we had the University of Wisconsin Whitewater coach, Matt Sawaska. We were lucky enough that he came out to practice and was running some technique. I like to introduce you kids to new coaches, and I try to make them high-level coaches so then you can learn new things and be open to learning. My goal once you leave the program is I'll be your first coach, but not your last. So I want to put you off to a new program, set you up for success, and have that growth mindset so that when you get there, you'll be ready to learn. What a growth mindset doesn't look like is not paying attention. So when I do bring in these coaches for clinics, practices, and you're sitting there looking unenthused, bad body language, talking while they're talking. First of all, it's embarrassing and gives us a bad look. And second of all, it makes it look like you don't want to be there. So show the coach you want to be there, learn something, and then these coaches that come in the room, they might pick you up for their club team to practice on. They might invite you out to a college to come check out how the wrestling at the next level is like. Always be ready and always seek these opportunities because sometimes the door shuts so fast. And you got to do it when it's there. Sometimes you got to kick the door open, but if that door is already open, we go through that thing every time. Our action statement. I will be open to new ideas and be a lifelong learner. I'm still going through college level courses, doing my silver coaches with the USA Wrestling. I learn every day. I'm reading books, I'm researching, I'm on Flow Wrestling, I'm talking to coaches, I'm going to clinics. I constantly want to learn. I'm the best thief in the game. I learn everybody's moves. I mesh them into a tight little package that I call our system, and I try to give you kids the best of stuff that I can get. That's why every season you see me, I'm fired up about a few techniques, fired up about a few new things, positions we have to win. I'm constantly learning. Wrestling always evolves. It's the oldest sport. As soon as men were born and women, they started racing and they started wrestling. Who knows what happened first? They either race first, the guy that lost said, I'm going to flex you, or they wrestle first and the guy that lost said, I'm going to run away because I'm faster. So the argument's there for the oldest sport, but this is ancient stuff. The techniques don't change that much, but you got to be ready for the nuances. In order for me to get those nuances to you kids, you got to get the basics down, you got to get them smooth. So the moral of this, to wrap it all the way back, this has been one of our longer videos. Always be willing to learn from somebody and be humble enough to not think you know everything. When I was y'all age, I had a good coach come in my senior year. I said, who the hell is this guy? I ain't learning shit from you. That guy was undefeated state champ in Illinois who wrestled at U of I. He could have taught me a lot, but at 18, I thought I knew more because I'd been at that high school for 3 years. So this is how it goes here. You don't know, buddy. He had a lot of wrestling knowledge I never gained. So don't think you're better than anybody, and you can learn from anyone. When I seen Ben Askren learning moves from Keegan O'Toole when he was an 8th grader, Mantis position, that showed me right away that Ben walks in most rooms. He's the best wrestler there. He was willing to learn from one of his students. You can be willing to learn from anybody. So don't think you're better than anybody. Be open-minded, be coachable, keep that growth mindset. Thank you, Trojans, for watching. Anybody else, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're watching this right now, and I truly do appreciate that. Peace. Much love to you. Go Trojans.